Hi, welcome back to Once Upon a Game. I'm Kevin Kitchens, and in this episode, I'm very excited to do an unboxing of Red Dust Rebellion, Volume 12 in the Coin series from G&T Games and designer Jay Carmichael, who I know is Jared Carmichael, a fellow YouTuber, runs 3-Minute Board Games, a very, very enjoyable channel. I suggest you check him out. This is what I would say is like Andor was to Star Wars. In the sense that it was just, Andor was like the Star Wars story I've been looking for since I was a kid. Didn't have the the high fantasy stuff going on, the pulp science fiction. It was more just a true story set in that universe. So, by the comparison, this is the first fictional game in the Coin series. So unlike the rest of the other 11 Coin games, where you kind of have some preconceived notions as to what the different sides are, and you're trying to, it's trying to simulate that counterinsurgency conflict. We don't know who these factions are except for what the game's going to tell us. So like a good science fiction movie or story, you're going to get into this one and just explore and identify with whichever faction you want to identify with, or play them all, or whatever. So, as we're going to get into the story, let's get inside the box. That was a little tough to get into. So this is probably one of the most anticipated games, apart from maybe Mr. President on GMT's P500, and now it's finally here, so kind of excited. Anyway, it is for 1 to 4 players, and it will play solo. You can true solo it, playing all the sides by yourself, or it's got the GMT 1 logo here, which shows that it is solo friendly. So there are probably the typical coin bots in here that probably the card driven version that lets you control the factions through an AI, and you control one, or you control none of them and let the AI play it out. So anyway, enough of me yapping. I do like the artwork. It's very cool. I guess we'll find out who did the art, but that's really, really neat. All right. Ooh. All right, obviously Red Dust is for Mars. This takes place in the not too distant future, as they say. What a beautiful artwork. We got a large ship. So this is the playbook. In the Coin series, usually the playbook is just how to set up, and tutorial and a detailed walkthrough is the norm. Tells about the cards. So this is let's see, the playbook comes in at about probably 64 pages. No, I'm way off. 48 pages. It is full color. It is on GMT's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful matte finish stock. And it is pretty large print. This is probably the largest I've seen for a Coin game. So that's helpful. So it starts off with a tutorial. You set up the map and you follow along with the turns, and it'll explain the rules as you go. And then we get into the cards. Let's see, there's two headings that say cards. So yeah, 24 is where we're getting into the card tips. And these are the different event cards, and they describe how to play them. And then we've got, skip past that. And these are still the card references. And the designer notes by Jared Carmichael. Why Mars? Mars, I can't believe I'm back on Mars. 3 times before, this place almost killed me. I swore I'd never give it another chance to finish the job. Humans got no business being here, no business at all. Michael Garibaldi, Babylon 5. I have not seen Babylon 5. I may need to watch that. I've heard good things. If I can find it anywhere. So, just a bunch of designer's notes and how we got to there from here. So the timeline of Martian colonization starts in 2020 through 2039, and now we move on up to 2250, the current day. Very cool. And let's see, we've got the artwork. The card cover illustrations are by Marcos Villarreal Lara, and the map and counter design by Terry Leeds. So there you go. All right, so anyway, that is the playbook. Now we have the rule book. The rule book is pretty hefty as well, and it is another 48 pages. Dun, dun, dun. Also in the great GMT matte finish stock. And here we start out, again, large print, which is really nice. Detailed list of the components. It's first time learning the game, you might want to start reading the tutorial section of the playbook. We'll guide you through setup at several turns while referring back to this rule book as concepts are introduced. That might be worth doing. So it tells you about the 4 different factions. We have the Martian government, the corporations, the Red Dust movement, and the Church of the Reclaimer. And we actually have the Earth government. It's a 5th non-player faction that maintains elite ground forces and an extensive satellite network. Control of Earth Gov forces changes between Mars Gov and corporations based on how much Earth trusts the Martian government to manage the rebellion. So that's that one. There's the map key. It's very, it's not a geographic map per se. We've got Tharsis, we'll look at the map again, obviously in a minute, but Tharsis Montes, the Aragia Terra, or Arabia Terra, it looks like, and the Hellas Planitia. My Latin is not really good, so anyway, that's the key, so you can look things up on the map, and then we've got the game board, it describes it. Satellites, very cool. So it is, like I said, it is large print. Is there an index here? Let's go through it real quick and see. Yeah, here we go. So we've got setup. It starts on 18. So victory is described on page 17. So the rules actually aren't too terribly long. And then we've got, after that, we've got the sequence of play operations that you can take, special activities, event cards, terms, and a setup diagram on page 46, which is the inside of the back. Tells you how to set up. So there's that. Now we have the Red Dust Rebellion Curiosity Card-Based Non-Player Rules and Reference Booklet by Joe Dewhurst. And this is 32 pages, I'm guessing. Let's say, hey, 32, got that one right. So then this tells how to run the bot. The Curiosity is the non-player system that may be used to replace any player faction with a non-player faction. A deck of cards and several player aid tables guide the decisions made by each non-player faction. Curiosity is named in reference to the Curiosity rover, which landed on Mars in 2012, and is still operational over 10 years later. So very cool. So this is the card-based bot instead of the original flowchart-based bot, and this will tell you how to run it. And then we've got our faction sideboards here. These are for each of the factions. These are on half sheet and already cut, so you don't have to cut them. Half sheet coded cardstock. So we've got the Church of the Reclaimer, the Red Dust Movement. Oh, I should show the other side too, because it gives setup and strategy tips for each one. The Red Dust Movement, the corporations, and their stuff, and the Martian government in blue. So I guess I'll have to play Martian government first, because blue is, of course, the best color for playing board games. All right, and then we've got, oh, nope, and we have Earth government too. So here's the Earth government, which is a non-player faction. So you're always going to, at least even with 4 players, you'll have one non-player faction. All right, so that's that. And then we've got reference cards here for Flashpoint Round. There's, I guess, 2 of these. And these cover whoever's controlling the Earth Gov, the Church of the Reclaimer, for Flashpoint Round. Oh, it's actually got all of them, excuse me. And then we've got the Dust Storm Round. So when those things happen, so you get 2 of those to refer to. And then we've got the Curiosity non-player Dust Storm Round instructions, also in coded cardstock. And then the Flashpoint Round instructions. So, yeah, all right. So those reference cards. Then we've got how to play Curiosity, the AI for the different factions, depending on which card comes up, and that is double-sided, also encoded cardstock. And it just tells you how each one's going to handle those particular cards. And then we have our faction reference guides here. There should be 4 of these, as there usually are. And 4. And these are the double width coded cardstock. And there's a page for each, and they describe the activities and the operations that each of the factions can perform, and how they win, their victory conditions. So you can always keep that in mind. Now, more solo curiosity non-player aid, and this is also for all the factions, and it's also the double width booklet style coded cardstock, and the golden rules for running the bot. A lot of goodness in here. All right, then we've got our counter sheets, plural. There are 2. So we have this one here, which has some population markers, support markers, opposition markers, enemy bases, overflow markers. And they are pre-punched, or not pre-punched, excuse me, they are pre-rounded, which is nice. So this is the opposite side of sheet 1. And for the front, for the sheet 2, we have supply markers, coin control markers, enemy bases, approaching storms, some satellites. Very nice. So it's nice that they're pre-rounded, so you do not need to use your Oregon Laminations 2.5 millimeter deluxe corner rounder on these. Very cool. And then we've got the game board, which we'll take a look at in a second. And then we have 4 dice, 2 red, a black, and a white. No, excuse me, I said 2 red. We've got an orange, a red, a black, and a white. There's no blue one. Interesting. And no, orange, clearly the winner. Unless they gang it up, then it's 7-6. But they do work. And then we've got lots of stuff. We've got GMT's patented Bag-O-Bags in 3D. And our wooden bits, lots and lots of wooden bits that Coin is known for. So we've got these tokens here for all the faction colors, it looks like. And then some of the hex cubes with, with the marked for forces you can activate, or cells you can activate, deactivate, comparing Labyrinth and the other games in the same general family, though not directly related. And then more markers here. Got red, black, some blues, some oranges, and some general forces here. And some track markers as well in green and tan. So lots of little wooden bits. All right, and what else we got here? We have cards. So we've got, these are going to be the AI cards for the Curiosity bot. We'll open those in a second. All right, so these are the AI cards, and there are apparently, let's see, I've got 5 of them. Let's see, there's 5 for the Martian group. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the corporations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the red dust. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the church. Going with the generic version of church, obviously not a Christian version of church, but that's fine. Cool. All right, so these are the instructions, and then there's 2 sides to each one. So the different little flow charts are based on which one comes up. which is really neat. This card-based bot system that they've come up with is just really, really cool. All right, so we have those. And then one thing I was noticing when we were going through the rule book is that the number of cards is very few. There's only 49. Now, wait a minute. Let's see. Let's take this back. I think the dust storms get inserted different events in the other corn games that you kind of shuffle in, and when these come up, things happen. So there's 3 of those, it seems, and there's 48 named cards. So you got basically a deck of 51 cards to play through, which is pretty cool. So we have everybody's favorite Green New Deal. Hope it's better than the current Green New Deal. Public Works programs. Remove all damage from spaces with coin control. Increase profits by 1 per damage removed. Shift up to 2 spaces where any damage was removed 1 level each towards active support. And then EarthGov declares an emergency. And you got unique artwork on each one, and this is just really, really nice. Terran loyalties tested. Jump ahead here. The water crisis. Obviously Mars is going to have a water crisis. Mars doesn't need mechanics, Mars needs water. Corporations quell dissent. Martian nationalism. Earth fears independence. Place 4 EG troops on Phobos, then remove 1 active RD campaign card from play. So we'll get to those. So we have 51 turn cards. And then we have these campaign cards. Okay, and there's RD1 through RD12. And no RD2D2. So there we go. So the first one, Construction Workers Guild. Workers down tools on court projects. Help build barricades instead. Place all new RD bases on their dug-in side. So these are, I guess, random red dust campaign cards. These are just maybe random events that are gonna trigger or can be put into play that cause changes. So we have friendly judge prevents an action. Each space with opposition that is selected for MG secure costs 6 MG resources. So anyway, there's 12 of those. And finally, we've got these Reclaimer asset cards. And there appear to be 30 of those. And we have things such as Subdermal Weaponry. Hit and fade. See our attack removes an additional enemy piece for each successful die roll. Perform free operation in up to 2 spaces after playing this capability event. Then draw an asset card. Water reserves. You get a 5 for rally. It's a resource. These are capabilities, events, resources, and that's it. I'll read one more here. When the walls fell. Move up to 4 CR rebels to 1 labyrinth, no more than 2 spaces away from any of them. Place 1 damage in that labyrinth, then remove up to 3 population markers from displaced population. So this is, again, everything I'm seeing, very cool, very neat, having this fictional universe. So, wow. Yeah, hopefully this is the start of something really nice with the coin system, since it's proven itself over 11 historical games. Anyway, we still got the board to look at. Let's take a look at that real quick. All right, so this is the board for Red Dust Rebellion. It is an 8-panel board. So it is, let's see how it folds up here. It's 34 by 22. So just like we saw in the rule book. So we got all the different locations. We got Europa, Tereshkova, Tenzing, Shepherd. Over here we've got Gandhi and Sharma, New Cordoba, and Shinzao. Probably saying these wrong, forgive me. The Wilderness. This is like playing Terraforming Mars for real. Then we've got Phobos here, and then our transit box going back to Earth, and then satellites in orbit that you can work with. And then eligible factions for your playing your cards, who would be eligible for the cards, and so on and so forth. And then the card play. I do like that it's mounted, that it says landscape on the table. right? So it's easier to get to for a solo player. 4 players, you know, a narrow table, you'll be able to get to it as well. But beautiful artwork. I really do like the thought of this. There have not been a lot of coin games that have appealed to me in general. Sometimes there's some with no good guy to play, so. But this one I'm really looking forward to. So anyway, let's put this back and recap everything that you get in the box. All right, so if you pick up a copy of Red Dust Rebellion by GMT Games, and you better hurry because I'm sure it's going to sell out unless they printed like 8 million copies. You're going to get those 51 decks of 51 cards for the turns. You're going to get the Reclaimer Asset card deck, the Red Dust Campaign card deck. You're going to get the Curiosity AI deck. You're going to get the 4 bags of nice wooden bits. You're going to get bag of bags, 4 dice, that board that we took a look at, and 2 sheets of counters, pretty rounded. The AI Curiosity non-player aid, 4 copies of the faction guide detailing the operations and special activities for each. You're going to get the Curiosity event instructions, double-sided reference, the Curiosity flashpoint round instructions, and I missed that before. This is how Curiosity handles the flashpoint rounds and the Dust Storm rounds. Then you're going to get the Dust Storm and Flashpoint for players, how they handle them, 2 of those. You're going to get the 5 faction boards, 4 player factions, 1 non-player faction. The rules and reference booklet, the rule book, the playbook, and that is everything that comes in Coin Volume 12, Red Dust Rebellion, designed by Jared Carmichael and from GMT Games. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you. Bye-bye.